I did a study trip. I went to South Korea and had an incredible time. We were exposed to the culture, to the politics, including meetings with the president of South Korea and the foreign minister, meeting with some of the top CEOs and senior leaders of companies like LG and Samsung. And most important of all, I really got to know my classmates, especially the second-year leaders and those from Korea who were able to organize an exceptional trip.
I was on the South Africa study trip this year and getting to go to Soweto townships and driving through downtown Johannesburg and then contrasting that with the experience of being in the vineyards of in Cape Town. Those are experiences that I wouldn't trade for the world, and I think have had a profound impact on my life in the form of now wanting to go back to South Africa and leading a study trip next year to South Africa and Botswana. It's really been sort of unparalleled.
Well, the Guatemala trip was great in terms of looking at environmental issues in their larger context. So seeing how organic agriculture, even fair trade, which is not explicitly an environmental certification, how those things fit within the context of a developing world economy, and in some cases are really much lower priorities in the developing world than just getting by day to day and creating a better life for your kids.
I did a trip to Brazil this past spring, and would honestly say it was an experience that I never thought I could have gotten. We got to meet with the most important people in the country, got to see and experience all sorts of cultural, social, and government and business aspects of a really interesting place, Brazil. And the meetings weren't just sort of someone standing up there and lecturing us. They were very interactive.
I went on a study trip to Ghana, which was absolutely amazing. It was my first trip to West Africa, and one of the study trip leaders was actually Ghanaian. So we had an inside look at many of the things in that economy, in the political background, and it was just a wonderful time.
For me, the experience of going to the Middle East was amazing in terms of how it opened my mind. And I would say that is my main takeaway from my Middle East trip. It's how you have to break a little bit your mental models when you go to different parts of the world. So there's this whole prejudice around what the Middle East looks like and how dangerous it is. And then we go there and would just discover amazing people, incredibly well-prepared professionals. Companies are running much better than even the Western companies. And such an amazing business opportunities to be taken there.
I went on the India Service Learning trip, and it was health focused on people at the bottom of the pyramid, so making $2 or $3 a day or less. And the reason it was so amazing is because I learned what the word dignity meant by watching and listening to the stories of women who had been dodging their brother-in-law and their uncle's rape attempts, to learning that they have value, getting an education, learning economic skills, providing for their own families, and seeing how that changed them as people helped me understand how important dignity is in human lives, and how I, as a manager in the past, have probably done things that removed people, that reduced people's dignity, and that it's something that in my management and leadership style I personally want to try to change, and through that to try to change how companies and organizations are managed to increase the dignity of the people that are there.
The implications of global experience are surprisingly interpersonal in nature, in the sense that one thing that it did for me was cause me to reevaluate my own preconceptions, my own stereotypes that I didn't even know were present. And it really caused me just to kind of have a white slate when it comes to interactions with other people, because you can't know anything about someone until you actually sit down with them, start talking to them, hear what they have to say, hear how they think about things. And the global experience, and also the pseudo-global experience in the GSB classrooms, really emphasized that to me.